Money isn't what changes people. What truly transforms lives is what they do every day, even when no one is watching. There are people who dream of wealth but repeat patterns of scarcity, and there are others who, with small, repeated actions, build freedom. This video will show you 5 daily habits, not tricks, not shortcuts, real habits that, practiced with discipline over months and years, change your identity and your bank account at the same time. Before you start, breathe. This isn't for the impulsive. This is for those who want to pay the price to excel. If you commit now, subscribe and hit the bell. We don't give false hope here, we give tools. I'm going to tell you stories of real people, people who started from scratch, who made mistakes, who fell, and who live differently today because they chose to repeat 5 actions every day. And at the end, I'll give you a 90-day plan with daily micro tasks and metrics you can measure now. Let's get started. First, why habits matter more than motivation. Motivation is a fleeting flame. Habits are the fire that keeps your house warm. When a rich person says it's a matter of habits, they're not being mystical. They're talking about levers. A habit is an investment that pays off in minutes and whose compound interest is measured in years. What you do each morning defines not only your day, but the person you'll become. Now, the first habit. Habit 1. The hour of inner control. Starting the day with intention, imagine waking up and, before looking at your phone, spending 20 minutes decluttering your mind. It's not just relaxation, it's programming. This is what many people who have different results today do. They create a mental command center every morning. In those 20 minutes, you don't consume, you produce. How do you do it in practice? I'll give you concrete steps. Upon waking, breathe with concentration for 3 minutes. Count your inhalations and exhalations. This reduces anxiety and improves clarity. 5 minutes of quick writing. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're going to prioritize today, and 1 micro action that will get you closer to your financial goal. 5 to 7 minutes of reading or actively listening to content that elevates your level. 2 to 3 minutes of visualization. Imagine your ideal day, but from a feeling perspective. Story, I know Marta, a single mother who worked 10 hours a day and changed her life with 20 minutes before bed. She started using that time to learn copywriting and, with small clients, tripled her income in 6 months. It wasn't a magic formula, it was consistency in the morning. Why it works from a psychological perspective. The first action of the day establishes the brain's confirmation bias. If you start active, your brain will look for opportunities. If you start reactive, your brain will get used to reacting. Immediate exercise. Tomorrow, set your alarm 20 minutes earlier than usual. Do the block described. Write time in the comments if you're going to try it. That creates social responsibility. If you already have a morning routine, write down how many minutes and what you do. Help others create their own version. Habit 2. Money control. Simple rules for purposeful spending. People who accumulate wealth don't do so through heroic sacrifice, but rather through clear rules. It's not about saving every penny, but rather aligning each expense with a strategy. 3 practical rules that the wealthy implement. 72-hour rule. Before a major purchase that isn't a necessity, wait 72 hours. Excitement subsides and reason takes over. Investment priority. The first portion of money is invested. It's not if there's any leftover I invest, it's if it comes in I invest. Spending quadrants. Divide your spending into need, investment, reward, and escapism. Minimize escapism. Real life example. Andres earned a good salary but lived from debt to debt. He applied a simple rule. Each paycheck, before expenses, he set aside 10% for a broker and 5% for education. A year later, his investment capacity allowed him to purchase the first foundation for a digital business. Operational tactic. Download a simple spreadsheet and assign percentages. 50% needs, 20% savings/investment, 15% reinvestment in growth, 10% responsible leisure, 5% donation or unforeseen expenses. Adjust according to your reality, but respect the priority. Common objection. I don't have enough to save. Realistic solution. Start with 1% of your salary. automate the transfer. The first month will be difficult. The second, you'll adapt. The sixth, you won't miss it anymore because you define it as a do not touch account. Practice exercise. Review your last 30 days on statements and mark 3 impulsive expenses that you can cut and reallocate to investment the following month. Write them down. If you want, post them in the comments and I'll give you suggestions. If this is helping you, give it a like. It helps the algorithm show this to people who need to learn to prioritize. Habit 3. Learn every day. Micro studies with macro impact. The most notable difference between those who progress and those who repeat cycles is the speed of learning. You don't have to read 100 books a year. You have to be consistent. 10 pages a day equals 3,650 pages a year. That builds an internal library. But even more powerful than reading is applying it. How to implement it? Select 3 areas that increase your value. Dedicate 20 to 40 minutes a day to active learning. Read with a purpose, do exercises, replicate an example, practice a real sale. Each week, create a micro project that tests what you've learned. Story: Pedro, an electrical technician, decided to learn digital marketing for 30 minutes a day. In 4 months, he managed to position his service in the area and tripled revenue. How? Not because he's a genius, but because he applied what he learned: small ads, price testing, adjustments. The psychology behind it: learning creates new neural networks. Repetition and application consolidate paths that the brain then takes automatically. When an opportunity arises, your brain has the tools to seize it. Practical exercise. Choose a book or course today, do it 20 minutes before bed, and implement a micro action the next morning. Share the micro action in the comments. Habit 4. Control your environment and energy. What you consume consumes you. Your environment is an amplifier. The physical, social, and digital environments largely determine your habits. If you spend 4 hours a day on social media with content that normalizes complaining, your mind will accept the complaint. If you hang out with people who don't execute, your likelihood of executing decreases. How to get started. 7-day input detox. Reduce passive consumption by 50% and increase educational consumption by 200%. People 5 list. Write down the 5 people you talk to the most. Evaluate whether they uplift or drain you. Decide on an action. Approach a person who uplifts you or reduce time with a person who slows you down. Space redesign. Tidy up your desk. Add a goal book. Minimize distractions. The physical environment facilitates behavior. Narrative example: Laura, who wanted to be a designer, lived in a noisy house with unsupportive friends. By redesigning her workspace and changing her circle, her production increased and her client base appeared within 6 months. Execution tip: create energy protection rituals. Before a work/productivity session, put your phone on airplane mode, set a 90-minute timer, and grab a bottle of water. These rituals send a signal to your brain. It's time to create. Exercise. This week, observe the 3 activities that drain you the most energy and eliminate or reduce one of them. Write down the activity and the productive alternative that will replace it. Habit 5. Daily action. Execute even when you don't feel ready. The last habit is the simplest and the hardest: imperfect, repeated action. Action isn't just movement, it's a decision. You don't need a perfect idea, you need market testing. You don't need a perfect plan, you need to get started. Trading tactic: Pomodoro technique with goals. Work 25 minutes focused on a value-generating task. Rest for 5 minutes. Repeat 4 cycles, then take a long break. 1 email stack: send at least 1 email/DM/offer to a potential client every day. Selling without executing is fantasy. Micro milestones. Define 3 daily micro milestones that directly impact your income or skill progression. Prioritize the first one each morning. Potential future. Meet Sophia, who sent 1 email a day for 90 days to small businesses offering website redesign services. In her first month, she secured 3 clients, and one of them hired her for a 6-month contract. This story highlights a core principle: action generates data, and data destroys speculation. You learn from sales, rejections, and feedback. Every imperfect action places you in the arena where improvement happens. Today, commit to the 10-minute action, a task you can complete quickly to move closer to a client or validate an idea. This could be contacting a former colleague, publishing a valuable post, or sending a quote. If you're ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment, subscribe and comment, I act. Now let's explore how to chain these 5 habits together with a clear 90-day plan. It's not enough to know them, you must integrate them into your daily life. Phase 1, Days 1 to 30, Foundation. Mornings begin with 20 minutes of inner control, Habit 1. For finances, automate 5% of your salary, Habit 2. Dedicate 20 minutes daily to learning, Habit 3. For your environment, do a 7-day input detox and reorganize your space, Habit 4. Finally, take one 10-minute action daily, Habit 5. The goal for month 1 is consistency in all 5 habits, maintaining a daily log. Phase 2, Days 31 to 60, Validation. Increase your savings to 7 to 10% if possible. Choose a skill to monetize and complete 3 micro projects, applying your learning. Contact 5 potential clients per week. Review your environment and replace one toxic relationship with formative networking. The goal for month 2 is your first sale or secondary income. Phase 3, Days 61 to 90, Scale. If you have a minimum viable product, repeat and automate processes. Reinvest 50% of your earnings back into growth. Document your processes for delegation. Establish clear metrics, additional monthly income, project hours, and savings percentage. The goal for month 3 is to have at least one additional income source contributing 10 to 30% of your salary, or a clear plan to achieve it. Let's address common obstacles and practical solutions. If you think, I don't have time, inventory your day. Eliminate 60 minutes of non-productive activities daily and allocate 30 minutes to learning or action. Use the 2x rule. Prioritize what gives you twice the return over entertainment. If you fear failure, define small risks, like selling a service at a reduced price, then scale up. Small failures generate significant learning. If your family doesn't support you, communicate with data. I'll invest 30 minutes daily, and in 90 days, I'll show you results. Ask for a 90-day trial before changing your strategy. If you don't know what skill to learn, start with transferable ones like sales and communication. These are foundational skills for any sector. If you lack capital, begin with time or knowledge-based services. Initial capital is near zero. Automate micro savings. Here are indicators to measure your progress every 30 days. Track the percentage of salary saved or invested. Monitor weekly hours dedicated to learning and application. Count the number of offers sent and clients contacted. Record additional income generated. Track debt reduced or controlled. And note your sentiment, less anxiety, more clarity. Measure every 30 days and adjust. If something isn't working, don't blame yourself, iterate. The final message, identity over results. Actions transform identity. Don't try to change your balance before changing your mindset and actions. Sustainable wealth isn't what you accumulate today, it's the person who repeats habits when everything tells you to return to comfort. If you commit to practicing these 5 habits for 90 days with integrity, you will see your life with new eyes. I don't promise shortcuts, but a realistic method that works with discipline. If you're ready for 90 days of commitment, type 90 days in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss upcoming videos that can help you grow financially. Share this video with someone you believe needs it. Thank you for watching until the end. Remember, wealth is not a destination, it is a daily practice. Start today.